Hello there, Clear Lake peeps. How you all doing today? Ross England here, Clear Lake Guide Service, and report on what's happening up here on Clear Lake for the week of March 24th, 2022. Before I start this, there's been a lot of people who've signed up for these videos over the last couple months. Thanks for that. We appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I kind of have to explain to people what our purpose is and what we're trying to do, why I'm doing it, what we're trying to accomplish. First and foremost, I'm a fishing guide here. I live here on the lake, have fished the lake for a long time, been guiding for 20 years here, used to be a tournament fisherman. One thing that I thought would be useful for people would be just to get a report on a weekly basis about what the conditions are here on Clear Lake. What's the water color? What's the temperature? What kind of activities am I going to be getting into? If I come up on the weekend, is there going to be 200 boats here? So that's what I try to accomplish with this. Every once in a while, I'll share a little bit about our fishing results. Well, I try to every report, at least kind of a big picture. Sometimes I have a bad day. You know what? That's fishing. And believe me, I have more than my share of skunks trying to find, a new bite, or trying to figure out when an area is going or when it's not going, trying a new bait, whatever. It happens. And apparently last week's video touched a nerve with some folks that maybe, I was really disappointed or anything. And I'm always disappointed when I don't have a good day. That's just the way it is, because my expectations are pretty high when I come out here. So anyway, I share with you folks that not every day is a day that you come out and catch 35 fish. Not every day is a day you come out and bust 30 pounds. I post regardless of whether I did well or didn't do well. So I do that for one purpose and one purpose alone. There's a lot of you who watch these who are new to fishing. You're not tournament fishermen. You're still trying to figure this all out. You hear all these great stories about what the bite's like, and you come up here, you experience maybe a good day or a bad day, but the reality is, find out it's not like that every day. Well, here's a guy who does this for a living, and I'm telling you, it's not like that every day. I'll share my good days and I'll share my bad days with you. So just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed with how I approach, these videos and what I do. So enough blabbering. Been out the last couple of days. I had one little blurb where a little hiccup, but anyway, been out a couple times this week, and I'm not going to say that the fishing is great. Fishing's okay, but here's what I found. As far as water clarity, it's all over the board. I've got from a really good source that down in the Redbud area, between Monitor and Redbud, some areas down there, the clarity will be anywhere from 5 to 8 feet. And you have to keep in mind this Clear Lake, so the clarity, being able to see that far, kind of moves around. And, it might be that way today and it might not be that way tomorrow. So that's probably the clearest water that's around. The last couple days for me, what I've seen on the upper end is probably the clearest water I got into was maybe 4.5 feet that I could see bottom and actually tell what was on the bottom. A big chunk of the area that I fished was only 1.5 to 2 feet deep. I don't know if it was caused by the wind, if it was some kind of algae bloom or whatever, but anyway, the watercolor actually looks pretty good. It was mostly green, so that's all good. The upper end of the lake, a lot of variety, and it can change during the course of the day, remember that. So Water temperature, very big surprise. When I got out Monday, the starting water temperature I launched at the state park was 57.5 degrees, which was a huge change compared to where it was last week when I was out. Today, launching at 5th Street, same thing, 57, 58 degrees first thing in the morning. What I found in Lakeport late this afternoon was 64 degree water temperature. At 64 degrees, these fish are spawning. So what we're kind of starting to see is first thing in the morning, from what I'm being told, because I'm not an early bird right now, there's a pretty good bite for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour and a half, first thing in the morning, first light, and then after that it gets tough. What I experienced today was kind of on the tougher side because we didn't get started till 8:30. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, and I apologize for that. The last thing to deal with is activities. And the activities coming up this weekend is there is a New Gen team tournament on Saturday, and then there is a California Bass Federation tournament scheduled for Sunday. The Sunday event probably won't have that many boats, and honestly, I have no idea how many boats New Gen will pull for Saturday. So there actually were quite a few boats running around today, I thought, compared to what we had been seeing. So those are all your conditions and the activities that are coming up. Now let's talk about the fishing a little bit. My experience was I had a decent day. I only got to fish for about 3.5 hours between talking to guys and just goofing off. I probably put a good solid 3 hours of fishing in on Monday, and I caught 9 fish. All but one of them came on an underspin, 2 to 5 feet of water. Today, the 2 guys I had out, we fished minnows. This is the second time that I've fished minnows this year, and it looks like I'll be fishing them again tomorrow. 2 guys pretty much went through 4 dozen minnows today. We had 17 fish. The biggest one was 6 1/4. Just really good, fat, solid fish, but it was not an easy bite. If I tell you that we caught 17 fish, that sounds like a really good day. It really wasn't that good of a day because I spent quite a bit of time in some areas that we never got, a bite. Never got a pull down, never got anything. So it wasn't like it was just automatic, you could pull up anywhere you wanted and catch fish. You still had to figure out where they were, and the 2 biggest pods of fish that we caught, there were 2 pretty good concentrations, and they were all just fatter than heck. I mean, they all look like I don't think that we caught any. I think we had 1 male today. We had 1 fish that was probably 14.5 inches long that looked skinny. The rest of them were just stuffed to the max, and I think most of that stuffage looked like eggs. So the spawn is definitely going to get started here pretty quick. Well, I'm confident with what I saw in Lakeport this afternoon. The spawn is happening. I just haven't been looking for bedfish just because last week I didn't think, I just didn't think there was that kind of water temperature to support it. But with what I saw today, yeah, it is. So I'm seeing some areas where I think the beds have already been vacated. What I'm not seeing, what I personally haven't, before I jump there, on side scan, a couple different areas today, I saw pairs of fish matched up on little depressions. So that was my first clue that I probably should start looking. I have not seen, nor have I been around any crappie, so I know there's a lot of people fishing for them, both off the bank and out of boats. I haven't seen anybody catch them. I know they're being caught, so I don't really have any useful information about crappie right now. So that's pretty much the fishing report for this week. Launch ramps, everything is pretty much the same. I've had some people ask about redbud. Redbud is open. It's usable. You've got to be careful. You know, there's out off the end of the launch ramp, there's some poles and buoys out there, and there's some extremely shallow water out there. If you launch there, you know what I suggest, you keep your motor trimmed up. Don't run your big motor, and go out 50 yards or so on your trolling motor, and you'll probably be okay. I don't know that launch ramp like a lot of people do, because I just don't use that ramp very often, but that's what I've heard from a couple of people who have bottomed out going out of there. So other than that, the rest of the launch ramps are still pretty much the same. Again, Lucerne's going to be closed probably till next year, probably till next winter. There doesn't look like there's any meaningful rain coming and no lake rise, so that kind of, you know, until we get another foot of water in the lake, it's not going to happen. And right now we're at positive point, we'll just round it off and call it 0.5. Got a little bit of rain scheduled for next weekend, but if it's like all the other forecasts that we've had, it'll probably fall apart or only be about half of what's forecast, and what's forecast was like 4/10 of an inch. So it's going to take an inch of rain before, well, let me put it this way, an inch of rain right now, it will all soak in, probably none of it will run off. So we're kind of toast. So that's the report for this week. Sorry that I rambled a little bit, but you know, I keep forgetting that there's been a lot of people signed up, and they may or may not know what this little channel is all about. So thanks for watching. Hit the old thumbs up. If you're new to it, subscribe. We'll be back next week. See ya.